Hello and welcome to Never a Truer Word, and this episode is an update for you on the recent episode about the murder of Elizabeth Liz Barraza. Since that episode aired, I've had someone get in touch with me with some really interesting details based on some of the observations that I made in that episode. In the episode, we looked at the words of Sergio Barraza, Lizzie's husband, describing their relationship and describing the day in question where Elizabeth was murdered, and also talking about maybe some people he suspected inside their lives. And that's what this update is about. So let's look at the words that he said that I drew attention to. He talks about Liz and him. They were part of a group that would dress up as characters and go around hospitals and doing charity work as well. So he spoke about that, and then he was asked, did you ever dress up with other people? Do you have a group surrounding you? His answer was yes, we were part of a charity group that they have a community across the world, honestly, that does community events like this for Star Wars. And the communities that they're in, we all kind of communicate and travel around, meet each other and help each other out. And I drew attention to the fact that he was asked about people that were in his group, and he seemed to talk about a much wider group. He talked about that group being around the world. He talked about the communities that they're in. So that's distance. That's not the community that I'm in. That's the communities they're in. So that's further. They would communicate as well. Again, there's some distance expressed in that. Traveling around. So this is not a close-knit group close to his house, but traveling around and meeting each other as well, as if meeting was not a regular thing they did. So I got the sense that a wider group, a group apart from the group that he was maybe part of and saw regularly, was significant to him. And then Sergio, when he was speaking to the police on the morning of the murder, he mentioned there's a couple of people that just don't get along with us, but not enough to come over and shoot my wife. And I pointed out that the phrase a couple regularly means two. By definition, it means two, but often when we use a couple, we mean a few. We mean two or more. And I said, are there more people that don't like them? And also that he brought up the fact that these were elections that they were going through in this group. And he said, there's a couple of people that don't get along with us, but he didn't actually join the dislike or the don't get along to the elections. They were two separate things. The elections are happening and people don't like us. And I wondered, there wasn't some beef that wasn't about the elections. And that also came through when he was asked, what are you talking about? And he says, as elections go, there's like discussions and arguments. And I said, discussions before arguments? That's interesting. But again, he didn't put the elections as the cause of this dislike there at all. He just mentioned that the elections were happening. So from all of that, I had couple. Does that mean more than two people that didn't like them? The wider community was significant to Sergio, certainly in his words, and the rift between Sergio and Liz and other people that Sergio mentioned as potentially a reason for the murder, that rift was not rooted in the elections. A guy called Alex, who's very close to the case and has done a lot of work and investigation on the case, got in touch on the back of that episode. And he said, the theme you pick up on in this video is the same thing I've tried to get across to everyone who asks me anything about Sergio or claims that they know what the cops don't in his being guilty. And that thing is, in about 18 months to a 2-year span, I spoke to Sergio weekly about Liz, himself, the case, his thoughts, his theories, the facts of the case, anything and everything. And the one takeaway I have, which I always say about him, is he always, without fail, replied to whatever I was asking. And if you saw the episode, then I think you would agree that I said he answered almost every question very straightforwardly, very directly. He listened to what the question was and answered it, which is often a sign of truthfulness. Alex continues, he never once tried to avoid anything and never got irritated that I was asking him. He even sent me the hour footage where he and Liz are setting up the yard sale from his Nest Cam, and he periodically would make a point of saying to me, thank you for your help. I appreciate all you do to help get justice for my Lizzie. It's an emotional thing to hear him tell you that when you know what he must have been through if he's innocent. So that's first of all from Alex. Now, he made a post about my episode. He said, in this video, he picks up from Sergio's words that there were a couple of people who did not like Liz and Sergio. Or, as he puts it, that's me, a couple, two or more than two, maybe a few people, a group of them that didn't like Liz and Sergio. He does not know that he's spot on and that there's a few people and that they are from a secondary group outside of but associated with the 501st group, which is the group that Sergio and Liz were part of. In fact, I don't think anyone knows that till now because I was told this fact by the woman Sergio named that morning. that there wasn't just her that didn't like Liz and Sergio. There were a number of people they pissed off, according to her. Now, this woman was named by Sergio. I'm presuming that she has been cleared by the police, that she didn't actually have any involvement. And now here's the story about what Liz and Sergio did that allegedly pissed off a lot of people. There are two charity groups, 501st Legion and their sister group, the Rebel Legion. Christmas 2018, so Christmas 2018 was 1 month before Liz was murdered on her drive. Christmas 2018, there was a photo shoot for a magazine, and members from both legions were there to take part. The final decision on which photos made it into the magazine fell to Liz and Sergio. They were said to only include photos from the members of the 501st Legion, their own. This infuriated members of the Rebel Legion, and the one Sergio named that morning as the person he thought could have done this, she contacted me and she told me that the beef was over and that there were others as well as herself that Liz and Sergio really pissed off by doing that. It's really interesting. What I picked up in the words does seem to be true. More than one person, something outside of their immediate group as well, and nothing to do with the elections either. Look, I don't think someone has been murdered because of a photo shoot and not including photos in the album. It wouldn't be the first time something as petty as that has led to a huge thing, but I don't think that's true. But it does indicate that Liz and Sergio maybe not liked quite as much as some, and certainly a lot of Sergio's interviews, try and talk about Liz being an angel who had no enemies in the world whatsoever, but she did have some enemies in the world. Sergio had some enemies as well, so all really interesting. If you want to see more from Alex, he's at Welsh Chappie on YouTube. He's also written a long post with just about everything that he knows about the murder of Liz Barraza. I know a lot of people that watched the premiere of my episode had never heard the story before, and that is a good place to read about what happened and the theories about what happened and a real in-depth look at some of the stuff that happened. There's another website as well, which is whokilledlizbarraza.com, which is run by Lizzie's parents and has a timeline and facts around the murder. I'll put links to both of them in the show description. And finally, if you do come across this and you do know anything, Crime Stoppers Houston's numbers are on the screen now if you're watching, and also are in the description of this. So that's a quick update on things that I've discovered since the episode went out. Neveratruerword.com is the website where you will find ways to get hold of me on all the socials. Loads more podcasts. You can sign up for the newsletter as well, and you can look at videos, including a few more about the murder of Liz Barraza. This has been the bonus update on the murder of Liz Barraza. We'll see you soon for something new from Never a Truer Word.